Hello everyone, welcome to the 12 Bravo channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little talk about watch collections and collecting watches and one of the top luxury brands, Rolex, on why I'm not interested in them. So I wanted to kind of make a little video about all that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So watch collecting is expensive. It can be expensive depending on your taste. Some people like artisanal watches. Some people like, classic watches or, ones from that were made a long time ago. Some people like, Apple watches, so it all depends on your taste, really. Let's go through what I have. So we'll show you. Okay. So this is my first watch. I bought it with my first credit card that I opened at a jewelry store. And I saw this and fell in love with it. I think I was 18, 19 maybe. I don't remember how old I was, but I've always liked chronographs. So this was my first one. My first watch was a chronograph. And this is a Bulova. I'm not sure of that name there. But you can see it's got a rotating bezel. It's got a nice weave on the on the bracelet. Not a particularly super high-end watch. I think this cost me maybe $300 or $400 when I bought it, which is still a lot of money, but I'm just saying in terms of, watch collecting, that's not really that much. But, yeah, that was the first one. So we'll put that back. And we'll just set that to the side. We'll make the video quicker by not putting things back. This is one that my wife bought me shortly after we got married. It's a Casio. It's got a little digital screen there, which I think might be a little messed up. I'm not sure. It's pretty old. It's about 20 years old now. Yeah. All right, this is what I bought when I got my first kind of big time job, a little celebration for myself. I went to a jewelry store. I didn't know anything about Tissot, but I knew I wanted an automatic watch. This was my first automatic watch, self-winding. And the Tissot brand, they are made in Swiss. So I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know if I can get in on that. Swiss made. This one's the Le Loco automatic Tissot 1853. I think this is a very gorgeous watch, especially with the black strap. The contrast between the kind of grayish white and silver and black look very classy. I consider this more of a dressy watch, dress up watch, just because it's so classic looking, and it's one of my favorite watches. I think this one was like about $400 or $500. So you can get Swiss made automatic watches, below $500. So just keep that in mind, This one I bought because I was interested in the Lume technology. So this is Luminox, and they basically have I can't remember what gas or whatever. It's like this radioactive isotope or something. You see in these little white dots here, like right above the 12 and the 2 and the 4. Those are always glowing, and they will glow for like 25, 30 years because of the radioactive isotope they put in them. I don't think this watch is very durable. It's marketed as kind of like a special operations, watch or whatever. But honestly, I don't think this thing would hold up. It was like $100 and some. I don't think this thing would hold up to any kind of torture at all. It feels cheap, to be honest. But I do like it, and I like the green dial and the orange here that they have, and I do wear it occasionally. So this is the first watch I bought when I went to Basic, and I wore this watch through both tours in Iraq. You can see there's still Iraqi sand on it. It's still dirty. Just needs a new battery. This has been through all kinds of stuff, firing all types of weapon systems, facing the brutal vibrations from 50 cals and things like that. And I was hit with an IED. I was blown up my second tour. This made it through that as well, and it still works. It just needs a new battery, a Timex. The Timexes I found are, at least this one, I had a Casio G-Shock, and I bought it for basic training too, but it broke, and then I bought this one. So this one ended up being a lot more sturdier and a lot more, I guess, just tougher than the Casio G-Shock, And you look at the Casio G-Shock, that's not the one that broke that I'm showing, but it looks way more rugged, way more capable, but this thing just would not give up. All right, I do have 4 watches in here that belong to my wife. This is this one I bought her when we were on a cruise. It's a Skagen. And she really liked the band and the white face and silver dial, so got her that one. I don't remember how much that one was. I don't think it was very expensive, though. Here is, this one's too small to fit around the pillow, but here is another one. This is a Fossil with a date window. Just a nice little lady's watch. Can't seem to get anything to focus. And then here's a Tissot. I bought this for my wife. It's got a date window. It is not automatic. It runs off battery, but sharp little lady's watch, Swiss made too. And this is my wife's uncle's watch. Who died, who passed away a few years ago. I think this is a German brand, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we've got a new band on it and a new battery. Nope. Seemed like the battery died again. All right, what is a watch collection without a G-Shock? You gotta have a G-Shock. I mean, they're these ungodly, you either love it or hate it style watches. And this one is solar powered, and I think it has a radio in it too, to where it sets its own time. It's literally sitting in my window. I think those are the little panels that get the light to turn it into energy. But yeah, this is, I think the date is off. I think that is the 23rd. I have to reset that. But yeah, I don't wear this very often. I don't know. It's a comfortable watch, and it definitely works. Got timer functions and all kinds of stuff on it. But I don't know. I just typically like contrasting colors more. When you have, the whole thing's blue pretty much. Yeah, there's a little white in there and silver, but I just like kind of like, white and black together and, stuff like that. This actually is probably my favorite watch looks-wise. I bought this while on a cruise, and this one was about $400. It's a Citizen Blue Angels watch, and it is an automatic self-setting watch. So the date you can see is right, April 23rd. It sets its own date, sets its own time. It's also a chronometer. See, radio controlled. Minute timer at the top. Nice blue band with like perforated, kind of reminds me of sports racing type band, perforated with the holes in it. It's a very sharp watch. I really love it. I keep it in the window so it stays charged with the sunlight. Haven't worn it in a while, but I think this is a really sharp watch. The design's really busy, and it really catches the eye. I think it's definitely my favorite looking watch of all the ones that I have. Now, the most expensive watch I have, I don't know if I'll ever buy another luxury watch, just because I mean, they're great, and it's more of a psychological thing for me than, the actual materials or performance of what it looks like. I really love just any type of artistry, anything that takes detail, work, time, whether it's and I really, there's things that like furniture building, you take your time, use the right materials, right methods, you can make really nice furniture, and depending on the materials and styles that you use, it can be really expensive or cheap. This one uses materials and took a lot of time to make. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the sapphire back one, and I kind of wanted the Hezolite crystal anyway, so that I had more of the original watch that was worn on the moon. This is an Omega Speedmaster Professional. I don't know why I can't get things to focus today. Jeez. Omega Speedmaster Professional, and it is also known as the Moon Watch. This has the caliber 3861 in it. And if you could see it, you'd be pretty much amazed. Like on the back of the Tissot has an open back. Forgot to show this. But I prefer open back watches because I love mechanical engineering. I love, the idea of metal, grinding on metal, pieces being cut to perfectly fit together, jewels vibrating. See, this is the back of the Tissot. You can see mechanic, automatic, 25 jewels Swiss made, and that plate winds the watch. And then you can see the little flywheel on there spinning, and there's a little ruby, synthetic ruby in the center there. I don't know if you can see right there. So there are jewels in here that help make the watch work, and every little piece in here has a function. Here's the gears. So I kind of wanted that for the Omega, but it was another like $1,000 to $1,500 to get the sapphire glass, and it wouldn't be a faithful replica, but at the time I really I got a good deal on this. I bought this at a AFES Omega sale, military exchange. And this watch is typically $7,400, this exact model, plus tax. So you're probably looking at around, $8,000 for this watch, typically. I got it for $4,300 on a super sale. So it was like they didn't have the exchange didn't have the sapphire back. They only had this one. So it was either spend, $4,300 for this one, or another pretty much $4,000 to get the sapphire one, and I wasn't about to do that. So I got this, and I know that the intricacies of the inside are beautiful, and I know that in my head, and it's more of a psychological thing, that this thing is finely crafted. It's taken a lot of time to build, a lot of attention to detail. It's very accurate. I mean, it's not going to be accurate as a digital, but as far as mechanical watches go, this one is very accurate. Master chronometer certified, COSC certified, so they go one step further with the master chronometer. But yeah, so that's the back, and then it's a winding. You wind this crown here, and it's got a 50-hour power reserve, meaning that this watch will tick for about 50 hours after you wind it fully. And then it's got a start, and then reset button, and it's just a simple watch. The Hezolite crystal can be replaced because it does get scratched a little bit because it's not as strong as sapphire. Scratch resistant as sapphire. And you can see here it's got the Omega, and then on the back of the clasp you have the symbol, Omega symbol there. But yeah, I gotta say this is my favorite watch, not my favorite looking, just because of the mechanical aspect of it, and I imagine the gears and everything here working together. I used to have this on a NATO band. I keep all my NATO bands in this little drawer here. But I think I put the original band back on because I think it just looks classier. The NATO band kind of sports up the watch, kind of dresses it down, and I feel like this black Omega band, which is ridiculously overpriced, by the way, if you try to buy it, is just makes it a little more classic, I think. So I switched back to this. So, anyways, in terms of watchmaking, so this is an Omega. This honestly, I think, is the most money I'd spend on a watch, and I think for $4,000, it was worth it. At $8,000, I don't know. I don't think, $8,000. There's no precious materials. I mean, it's like high quality stainless steel, yeah, but I think the ceramic bezel too, and so there's some craftsmanship in it for sure with the materials and stuff, but it's not gold, it's not silver or platinum, and I don't think I would have paid $8,000 for this watch. This is probably the last watch I'll spend $4,000 on, any kind of money like that on, just because I don't really see the value. At $4,000, it was more of a splurge, and I've always wanted an Omega, and I love the brand. They don't all look the same like Rolex. All Rolexes to me look like the same, with the major difference being the Cellini, the Sea Dweller, the Sky Dweller, the Submariner, the Yacht Masters. I feel like they all, the Daytona, I feel like they all look clunky, not very refined, more sporty. They're more sporty diver type watches that aren't very dressy. Yeah, it's a Rolex, but you know what? They add so much premium, charge to that Rolex name that you're paying thousands of dollars just because it has a Rolex stamp on it. A couple Rolex stamps, not because of it's worth it. Yeah, Rolexes hold, some models hold their value way better than others, but are you really buying a watch so that you can sell it again? I mean, it's just, you buy a watch because you like it, because it fits with your style. It doesn't have to be expensive. This Tissot would have been a perfect, generational watch, hand me down, for like $500. And it's a beautiful watch. If I had it to do all over again, would I buy the Omega again? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think Rolexes are worth it for sure. Some of the cheaper ones, being $10,000, maybe $8,000, even used ones are ridiculous. They're just not nice. I don't think they look good. I don't think they're nice. This Omega is more accurate than most Rolexes. And I don't know. I just don't think, it's just a name, really. To be honest with you, it's not made any better than this Omega. The complications, the watch gears and everything on the inside that make it an Omega, is just, I don't know. It's just, it hits me psychologically that this took a lot of time and certification processes and everything else, that someone put a lot of care and thought into this thing. And it makes it, I guess, worth it to me intrinsically more than anything. So, but yeah, that's my spiel on watch collection. If you like Rolex, I mean, and you really like the brand for what it is, like it's your style, that's one thing. But like, just because it's Rolex, you want it, I don't think that's really, like Louis Vuitton bags, they don't cost, $5-10 grand to make or whatever it is. I mean, it's just a name, I want something that is quality, quality materials, well manufactured, and is going to last my entire life. So, and I believe all these watches will accomplish that task, and some of them were not very expensive at all. I think this is probably the cheapest. No, this is probably, the Timex is probably the cheapest one I have. I think this one might have been like $40 or $50, but that was back in 2003. So, yeah. But anyways, that's it. I think I'm going to cut here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about watches or any recommendations, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day. Take care.